College Algebra, Section 1.1. In this section, we are going to review some of the concepts and ideas that we discussed in intermediate algebra. So this video will not be too lengthy because of the review element of it. And it starts off with a problem that looks like this. I'm supposed to plot the point -8, 0. Well, remember the ordered pair where this is my x and this is my y? So I am going to start at the origin. The origin is 0, 0, which is here. And I'm going to move to the left 8 units on the x-axis. And as a review, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So if I move 8 units to the left on the x-axis, that's going to take me to here. But then I would move 0 units in the y direction. In this case, I'm on y equals 0, so I'm not going to move up or down. And to plot this point in my MATLAB, you would just grab this dot and move it to here, and this would be our answer. Once again, Cartesian plane, ordered pair is xy. We start at the origin and move in the x direction and the y direction. Now, in this problem, this is problem number 4, I randomly pulled these from the homework, the ones that I thought might be troublesome to most students. So what I need to do is find 7 ordered pairs to this equation. Y equals x squared minus 5, and then determine the graph. Okay, I am going to start with the x equals -3. So I know y equals x squared minus 5. Well, in this case, x is given to us as -3, so y equals -3 squared minus 5. And remember our PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. That tells me I have to do the -3 squared. Y equals -3 squared is 9. So I have 9 minus 5, which gives me 4. So that goes into this little box. And there is our second position of the ordered pair. Remember, the ordered pair is of the form x, y. So this point, -3, 4, is on the ordered pair. And what I need to do now is go through all 7 of these, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I will do one more. I will do this one right here. So if y equals x squared minus 5, and I'm told that x is 2, then y equals 2 squared minus 5, which tells me y equals 4 minus 5, which gives me -1. So this ordered pair is going to be 2 and -1. Now, what we're going to do in this course is talk about translations, which moves the graphs up, down, left, and right. And in this case, I know that this is a parabola, and it is moved down 5 units. So if it's a parabola moved down 5 units, this is the graph in question. Now, the author doesn't want us to use this technique. The author wants us to plot these points and then get the graph. But I kind of jumped ahead. In here, the problem's asking us to choose the figure that illustrates the viewing window the best. Please note that this negative 10 is the x minimum, and this positive 10 is the x maximum, and this 1 is the units of the tick marks, and here this is my y minimum and my y maximum. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for a window that has an x minimum of negative 10 and a x maximum of positive 10, y minimum of negative 6, and a y maximum of 6. So it looks to me like this cannot be it. Why can it not be it? Well, if we look real closely at the tick marks, this would be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, and negative 10. So that would mean my y minimum is negative 10. But look at my y minimum, it's supposed to be negative 6. So automatically, this doesn't work. Now if I look at B, this tick mark is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This tells me that my x maximum is 6. But my x maximum is supposed to be 10. Therefore, this one does not work. And if I look here at D, this point right here is the origin, which is 0, 0. And so what that tells me is x minimum is 0 and y minimum is 0. But we know that cannot be the case because of the given coordinates. Because the x minimum has to be negative 10 and the y minimum is negative 6. So the only one that works here is C, and if we look real carefully, we can count the tick marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the x maximum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the x minimum. And the same would go for the y, and this is our answer. Now, notice in 8, it's a little bit different because each tick mark is not 1, it's 10. So, in this case, instead of counting by 1s, we'll count by 10, and the x minimum has to be negative 50, the x maximum has to be 90. So, if I look at the pictures here, I know that the x maximum has to be 90, so I can really eliminate this one because the x minimum is not negative 10. I can eliminate this one because the origin is the minimum of the x value, which is not the case. It looks like my only two real contenders are C and D. So what I need to do is figure out which one is going to work. And they look like the x maximums are a little different here. Let's start by looking at C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That tells me that the x maximum is 90. That's good. Let me look at D and see what it says. 1, I should be counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So the x maximum for D is 70 and not 90. Therefore, this doesn't work, and the only one that works is C. Now, we have to remember what it means to be an x-intercept. An x-intercept is where the graph intercepts the x-axis. And we'll see that the x-intercept occurs here, and the coordinate of this x-intercept is 3, 0. Okay, so I'll circle that in, and I am supposed to type an integer or simplified fraction. Use a comma to separate answers as needed. So I'm not asked to type an ordered pair. I would simply put a 3 in there. Now we are supposed to find the y-intercept. And we know that the y-intercept occurs when the graph intercepts the y-axis, which is this point here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 0, 9. So I am going to put a 9 in this box. And I'll bubble this in to be completely correct. So please recall what it is to be an x-intercept and a y-intercept. This becomes very important as the course evolves. And number 12 says, write the English sentence as an equation in 2 variables, then graph the equation. Okay. So the y value is 1 increased by the square of the x value. The y value is 1 increased by the square of the x value. So when I read this, I am thinking y equals x squared plus 1. That's how I interpret it algebraically. Now notice A, B, C, and D don't exactly match, but this D means the same thing. So D has to be our solution. This is the y value increased by, the y value is 1 increased by the square of the x value. And we can graph this by doing that table we did in the second problem. We can let x equal 1, solve for y, let x equal 2, solve for y, let x equal 3 and solve for y, and then plot them, and we will see that this is a parabola shifted up 1 unit. In other words, this is the picture. Well, that concludes section 1.1. This is a review section. Hopefully I didn't go too fast for you and some of it was kind of familiar. Please feel free to contact me with any questions.